welcome to the Elevated Space Podcast. I'm your host, DeShawn Miller. Thanks for tuning in. I know you got plenty of places to be, so I'm glad you're here with me. This is episode 7, yay, of the Elevated Space. You can find us where all podcasts are given away for free. Yes, you can. The Spotify, Apple, all of those good things, feel free to listen to me when you are in the car, when you're at work. Hey, don't care where you do it, just do. But when you do, something very, very, very important that I would like you to do. Please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share button, all that. Get this to your friends. Get this dopeness to all the friends and people that you love, right? We're trying to do a little good in the neighborhood. Help us get there, right? So please do that. Like, subscribe, share. Also, if you feel like reaching out to me, tell me you hate the cast, love the cast, whatever. Reach out to me at the elevated space at gmail.com. Leave all those comments there. And also, if you would like, ask for advice, put those there. Hey, women problems, I've been through those. I got answers. Got problems with your man? I'm a man. I know how men think. Shoot me that email. We can discuss it together, you know. Hey, problems with your boss, problem at work. I've been there. Been in many spaces, in the corporate spaces, know how to, double speak, double talk. So I have to do both. I've been on worker side and management side. So I know both of those too. So, hey, feel free to reach out to me with any issues that you might have. Not too serious. Hey, I am not a therapist. Although I do have a minor in psychology when I graduated college. So I know a little bit, but I am not a professional. Please believe that. And hey, I'm working on my own stuff up in here. So I ain't got time. You know what I mean? We can't get too deep, right? But I'll try. We'll put it that way. And if I can't handle it, I'll tell you to go get professional help. But either way, they're still in the right direction. Reach out to me with anything you need, right? Still working on the number. We're gonna get there. But yeah, please reach out. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you, discuss. But don't forget, like, subscribe, share. Let's see what's going on. Oh, got a cut. Not too sure. I mean, it looks nice, but don't know if we're gonna keep this barber. We're gonna, we're playing the field. If you've been paying attention, we got can't just it's kind of like his on the rebound. You can't get the first girl you find. All right. Sometimes you gotta make sure, because you're a little emotionally scarred, you're gonna make some rough, so maybe some not smart choices and decisions, right? So I'm gonna play the field a little bit, see what's out there, and then decide on who my new barber should be. But he's doing a good job so far. Um, Football, yeah, my Browns suck, but hey, that's to be expected. Uh, they just, I don't know what's up, man. I don't know why they won't put Shador in the game. Hey, I don't want to call it racist, but either he is straight ass, like I don't, and how could you even know if you ain't even giving him a shot? They brought somebody off the practice squad to take the second string. They don't plan on giving this dude a shot, which is absolutely crazy. That why even draft him? I mean, I know why they did it. I feel like it's the owner's choice to draft this dude, and the coaches didn't want him. But bro, I mean, you got to get this dude in. Hey, even if it just silences everybody that keeps calling for this dude, you can put him out there and be like, "See, told you he was garbage." But they don't want to do that because if they do that and he starts balling, then what? You know what I mean? Well, then you start winning. Or it makes you look like complete idiots for not having me in all along. So I get it. They're in a tough situation. Stefanski's got to go. I don't know. Sometimes he just makes personnel choices that I'm befuddled by. And it might be the GM that's making some of these choices, but I know the owner's involved a lot, which he shouldn't be. And that's part of the problem. That's why we got Deshaun Watson, Mr. Nasty Man. That's why we got Mr. Nasty Man over there, but hey, you gotta play with the cards you got. Hey, I don't know. Hey, get the boy in there. Let's see what he got. We'll see what happens, but we got to start winning and winning fast. Like the opportunity's still there. Lamar is he's out still right now, and the Steelers just lost. The Bengals, they got our leftover quarterbacks, but they did win, so they're beating the Steelers, so they're bringing them down, and so we still got a chance. We're not. It's not a runaway in the AFC North, so we'll see. But luckily I got my Buckeyes to cheer on. OH. I I got my Buckeyes to cheer on, so they give me some joy. They give me some joy because the Ohio State University is the program, and so they give me some football joy that I can that I have over the weekend. Anyway, other than that, not much really going on. Just kind of just working, man. Doing kind of skipped the pod last week, doing a lot of infrastructure stuff. Just trying to get the underbelly of this beast moving and churning. So wasn't a pod last week. Had a lot going on. But I'm back, and yeah. So let's get this cracking. All right, we family, right? We family now. So let me tell y'all, I do have kids, four in total. I got a older child. I ain't gonna give her age out there, and then I have an adult, like a full fledged adult, and I got three from another relationship, three younger cubs, and so my seeds from the younger batch, we'll call it. Um, yeah, it's been a struggle. So we're sitting here. We have, we weren't able to work things out. We have the divorce, and so it's been a challenge, doing the co-parenting thing because we are so different in the way we think, in our ideologies, and just on a general level. Not even getting to specifics. Um, you know, like our core beliefs, like what we believe, not like, you know, she believes in God and I believe in Allah, which, whatever that happens. Um, but more of how to raise our children, but the core beliefs that we have, it spills over into that, right? And sometimes um when you're on this little, like, your romantic journey with your partner, you don't really think about how these things might line up in the future, right? You're just in the time frame. You're just like, oh, she's great, he's great, and you're just looking to progress in that. But I do think we need to be a little more intentional with. I'm gonna just say it. We need to stop um, thinking from a sexual standpoint, especially men, right? We need to stop thinking of sexual standpoint when we're meeting a woman, because I understand you look at her and you're like, oh man, she's so fine. Oh, whoa. And you just, you run up, you holler or whatever, and you look into, yeah, that's what's driving that force, which it should, I guess, right? Because you want to be attracted to the person, but you need to make sure that that's not all that's there, right? You need to make sure it's more than that, and that you're compatible in multiple ways. Because choosing a bad mate is one of the worst things you could do. It's one of the worst things you could do. It could set you back, and sometimes it could even it could be unrecoverable at times, right? Choosing the wrong person to procreate with, and so that's why you need to make sure that this is a message to all the young kings out there. Make sure that the person that you are dating or that you're romantically involved with, that your goals are aligned. All right, make sure your goals are aligned. Is she a spender and you're a saver? Right? Is that going to match up? Is that going to match up when she's out blowing you know $1,000 at Target and then coming home with nothing, no food, no nothing? It's just It's just bull. You know what I mean? Like, are your goals aligned in what you need to do? Like, so do you are you a risk taker? And is she maybe someone that's risk averse? Right? You need to make sure that those type of goals align. Because when it comes time to make moves or do things, and you have someone that's not as, or that's kind of scared, or is a little um tepid, you're moving as a unit now, right? So you got to take those things into account. And sometimes um you can make moves that's counterproductive just to appease the partner, right? So you got to make sure your goals are aligned. And not just that, not just those financial goals, which they're very important. And sometimes you can overcome those, especially if one person is supremely focused and just takes control of that finance. But it's still going to be a problem if you are very far apart on that. Also, another problem is children, right? So, because even if you don't get married, that is a commitment for ever, basically. You are strapped to that person almost forever, at the minimum 18 years, right? So, at the minimum 18 years. If you don't see yourself being able to have a future with this person, have a life with this person, have kids and raise them to be upstanding individuals, don't even entertain the process. I don't care how good looking she is, right? We got to stop thinking with our dicks, basically. We got to stop thinking with our dick and start thinking with our brain. Because a night of passion can lead to a lifetime of pain. Please believe me. Message. A night of passion can lead to a lifetime of pain. Now, why am I telling you all this? So, again, I'm dealing with a co-parenting issue. I'm dealing with a co-parenting situation, I'll say. And I ain't gonna get into all the details of it, but I'll just say she calls me to deal with a situation with my oldest son. Okay, cool. Again, without giving up too much details, let's just say I'll just say the issue that she sent to me. She sent me a photo of something, right? And I was like, oh, and I immediately sent a photo back. And this is from something that he did as a kid, right? He might have been 3 years old or something like that. I don't know. But I was like, I remember at that time, I was pissed, but she laughed it off. Ha ha ha. Why? This is so funny. Why are you so mad? Yeah, this is hilarious. She laughed at me. And I was pissed. And she laughed at me. And I said, hey, she's like, he's only 3. Or whatever, 3, 4. He's only 4. And I was like, yes, he's going to be a 4-year-old that does this. He's going to be an 8-year-old that does this. He's going to be a 12-year-old that does this. A 22-year-old that does this. If you don't start nipping in the bud. But again, it was just like, oh, you tripping, you're bugging. Now you're dealing with the issue, which could have been nipped in the bud from the gate. See, and that's the difference between parenting styles. That can be conflicting parenting styles, right? Find out, like, how this person that you're looking to do something with or lay down with, how do they see parenting? Are they the no spank type? They the timeout. Timeout. Go sit in timeout, Timmy. Are they the timeout type? Right? When you're trying to discipline everything, it's like, that's okay. That's okay. right? Find out those things. Find out those answers first. 'Cause I know, right? She looked good. Ooh, boy, she looked good. Ooh, look at her. Yeah, I know. It's got to be more than that. It has to be more than that. And again, we don't have to be the same person. We just got to kind of have similar philosophies. Because when it all breaks down and all fall apart and that beauty fades or whatever, and we still raising these children together, are we on the same page? Because right, so it was cool and it got to a point. It was over, but I'm just around for the kids. But if I can't parent the way I think they need to be parented, if I can't raise my sons and my daughter the way I think they need to be raised, then what the fuck am I here for? Right? It's like if every time I try to discipline, you're there, contradicting me or going back behind my back to to backdoor me and backdoor my discipline model. What are we doing? Because and as a parent, you got to make a choice. Either you're going to be friends with them when they're children, or friends with them as an adult. Can't do both. Because your job as a parent is to guide these children and raise them to be proper adults. If you are not doing that, they're going to be terrible adults that you're probably not even going to want to deal with. So I don't know. We got to just be very, very careful. This is a public service announcement to men and women out there laying down. I know we got the dating apps, we got all that. You just meeting people, hooking up, linking up. Yeah. Are you going to want to spend the next 18 years with this person that you're sitting across the table at? While you eating crab cakes? You want to go to, are you going to want to spend the next 18 years arguing with this person if that's what it turns out to be? All right. Because the system is all fucked up. Like, because brothers, especially the brothers out there, after you conceive, after you pull out and you left behind some remnants and that egg is fertilized, you have no more rights, bro. It's over for you, nigga. It's over for you, nigga. You have no more rights after that. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's just, hey, again, she gets to choose whether she takes this baby to term. The courts usually just decide to give her the kids by default, even though you may be the better parent, right? So you really are at the mercy of the universe after you pull out, right? The decisions are no longer yours. I mean, you could choose to not be around or whatever. You could choose, you know what I mean? But in reality, the decisions are not yours anymore. They're all hers and theirs, meaning the court system. So listen, again, it's very, 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 very important. I'm sure we'll touch this topic another time, but yeah, just make sure that the person that you are, going out having these drinks with, because she's so fine or he's so cute that you can do an 18-year bid with them. Just make sure that's a do with that information as you will, family. You know what I mean? Do with that information what you will. All right. So enough of that. Let's get back to it. So they're having a No Kings rally. I think on tomorrow. I'm recording this on Friday night, so they're having a No Kings rally. I guess organized in multiple cities around the country protesting Donald Trump and the way he's getting down. So y'all going out there? Y'all going out into the streets? Hmm? I'm torn. I'm torn. Because I was kind of on, especially after we lost. Kamala lost. It was like, man, I'm out of this. It's not. This is not my fight, right? We did what we had to do, but like y'all fight it, like because we know what's gonna happen. So kind of was just sitting back, and I knew it was gonna be bad. I knew it was terrible. Actually, I knew it was gonna be terrible, but I didn't think he was going to move this quickly and this efficiently at destroying everything that this country has built over the last, I don't know, what, a quarter of a century. Um, and so yeah, I'm torn because I would like to protest. I want to get out in them streets. I want to, right? But I don't know. I just think even though I do know protesting is effective, I don't know how much they care, right? You kind of got to care that somebody is disgruntled, right? So when you have let's say you have a fight in the house or something like that, like with your partner, and they mad, man, and you just like, hey, look, whatever. It don't hit the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, I don't really care. You can slam those cabinets or whatever. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave. You can just be mad in the house by yourself or some shit, right? It's kind of like I don't think the administration cares that we're upset. We're way too far beyond protesting. If I can keep it real, way too far beyond protesting. Right? Like, I mean, not saying we shouldn't do it. I just don't know if it's going to have the same effect that it needs to have. Right? I don't think it's going to have the same effect that it might have on the Democratic president. When Kamala was, she's out in the streets and she was at the DNC and they was protesting all her rallies. It's like I just found that so anti. I get what they were doing in general, right? They was against the war and I get it, right? They're angry, they're mad, but by protesting Kamala, who's coming in, who might be able to change, who would be maybe a sympathetic ear to protest and trying to do something versus someone who don't give a fuck about what you think. I'm gonna just do what I want to do. Don't care like about your protests, right? So I think it was a very short sighted by those protesters in that space who was just trying to and I get it. You want your message heard. You felt like the time is now, but I felt like you were, protesting, and that's why I feel like they weren't going to the Republican Party because they knew they don't give a shit. But now, by helping this woman not get elected, you got this dude in office for 4 years that really don't give a fuck. I don't know. I think we all have our ways that we can be defiant of this system, of this regime. With this regime, what would be most effective, I believe, is a financial boycott, a financial resistance to the system. So if you start messing up the money, they will pay attention. Start start picking some of these companies and try to bankrupt them or at least put a financial strain on them. Yes, we see we got the power to do it, but it shouldn't just be reactionary. Just because Jimmy Kimmel got taken off the TV. It needs to be proactive. Let's go against Chase Morgan, Wells Fargo, Tesla. Let's be active instead of reactive. Right? Let's get after them. because we have the power, but for some reason we refuse to wield it. It's all about money, all about money and control. Let's not forget about control. It's about control too, almost more so, because if you control everyone, you control the money. Last time we were talking about control. I said I was going to do a conspiracy theory pod. This pod. Don't know. I'm not. I can't do it because after I started preparing for the pod, it's a lot. It's a lot because man, boy, these webs connect so much. It's not even funny. And it's like I don't know if they're conspiracies. That's the problem, right? Can't be out here selling too much real stuff. They might come up and knock on my door, come holler at me. Because again, that's the type of state we're about to be in. That control, you better watch it. That's the type of state we're about to be in. You know, I'm starting to go back and watch a lot of the Black Mirror episodes because I feel like it's more relevant now than it was even 12 months ago, 15 months ago. Those Black Mirror episodes, yeah. I mean, because it's like, oh, it's just because if you're not familiar with Black Mirror is a show, I think it's on Netflix. And it's all about how technology runs them up, or technology is ruining things. And, or how the advancements in technology, I should say, probably is ruining things. And there was this one episode, I think it was in the third season. I want to say it was called, I can't remember. I think it was called Fast Descent or Fast Free Fall or something like that. In this episode, um, this lady was invited to a friend to be the maid of honor in her friend's wedding. Okay. Um, like even if I describe this episode, it's still a good watch. Spoiler alert, but go back and watch the Black Mirrors, and But spoiler alert, I'm not gonna give too much away, but it's gonna be a lot. Anyway, so um, she she was invited to be the maid of honor in her friend's wedding. Okay, she accepted this. Now, leading up to this invite, there they live in a society that goes off of likes, like how or ratings, like ratings. So like in Uber, right? So you get an Uber or whatever, and you can give them 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, 1 star, whatever. It's kind of like that. So, but you can rate your experience with every individual that you come across. So if you have an experience with someone and I don't know, they piss you off, you can give them a 1 star, and that affects their overall rating. Now, this rating system, the whole everyone is plugged into. So everybody is plugged into this rating system. And the lower your rating on the system, the less access you have or privileges you have in the world, in the system, in the world, right? So if you are a high, let's say if you're like a 4 star and above, you have privileges to get access to better amenities, basically. And if you're like a 2 star and below, like you're vermin, like you're almost a leper in society, right? And so the organizations and the company were using the stars to almost keep people in line. Like, there was a incident at the airport, and homie was like, "Just leave." I'm going to dock you. And matter of fact, she started talking back, and he was like, boop. All right. So now you're like on double damage. And now I just took you down, like a lot. Like I just took half of your stuff away. So now I just made you a pariah, you know, even though it was like temporarily, but he like just took her status away. Now, I'm going somewhere with this. Just hey, it's going to connect. Just stay with me. So it was like, and so she was still trying to get to this. She was trying to get to this wedding, and because her her levels kept going down and down and down and down, it the trip just became more and more difficult. Like when she needed to catch a flight or she was on standby, because she had just lost some points coming out of Uber, knocked her down, and so she couldn't get on the flight she needed to get to wherever she was going. It was like, no, I'm sorry. I mean, we have a seat available, but that's only for 4 stars and up. Sorry. So she went to go rent a car. By the time she got to the car, she was less, even less ratings, and so it's like, sorry. All we got is 1982. You go. Sorry. Can't help you. And then she was having problems with the car, et cetera, et cetera. So it just kept getting worse and worse and worse for her. Even though, like, and so she's supposed to be, I mean, not elite, but but the system though, they would even, it allowed you better mortgage rates, better, everything. It was attached to everything. So that's the form of control, basically, right? That's the form of control. And unfortunately, this is where we are going with the digital ID. Digital ID, I can't stress this enough. And this is what I was talking about on the last pod. The digital ID is a form of control. They need that. And as a matter of fact, it is already in the UK, they're already talking about if you don't have a digital ID, you will not be able to work. You won't be able to be employed. Think I'm bullshitting? No. Listen to this.
I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Mm-hmm. All these things are connected, man. Listen to me when I tell you, they're all connected. The UK, China, the US. We're about to start getting a digital ID. Once they do that, it's over. It's over for us. I mean, I shouldn't say over, but it's a big part of the process. But when you go ahead and you link it to the surveillance state that we're in now, the surveillance grid that they've put up, when you link it to that, right? Know where you are at all times. We're walking around everywhere with a tracking device. We've given away all of our privacy rights after 9/11. Wink. We gave away all our privacy rights willingly. We're so addicted to all these apps and everything. You don't even look. You just agree, 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 agree. Trying to get your your TikTok app downloaded or your Instagram app downloaded. Meanwhile, they're taking everything you do is now being monitored. because it's just agree, agree, agree. Who reads that fine print on that stuff? How much, how much of your information, your life have you given away just wanting to take some funny little pictures on the on the ground and post them on the ground? You got to start thinking on a different level. They're not playing around. These corporate interests, they're so greedy. They're not playing around. It's all connected. It's all connected. So when you connect the digital ID to the information gathering with the surveillance state, right? What's to say into the financial corridor as well? Because they want a digital currency. We talked about that last spot too. They want a digital currency. They don't want no cash. They don't want no transactions that's off the grid. Because when I have your digital ID matched with your digital currency, there's nothing you can do. If I tell you you can't work without this digital ID, you go ahead and get the digital ID. Now, anything that's happening, matter of fact, in China, they're already doing it because of facial recognition, they can tell by the way you can start jaywalking in China. By facial recognition, your gait, and everything, they can compile who you are. You can even be masked up and they know who you are. And they can sit here and fine you without even walking up to you and giving it to you, just finding you. So what's to stop them from being like, all right, you're guilty. We're just gonna take it out of your we're just gonna take the money. We're just gonna take the money right now. What's to say, hey, you know what? Your money is only gonna buy genetically modified meat. It won't even the digital like we refuse you from using this money at this location. Kind of like the Black Mirror episode when we're like, hey, yeah, you don't have the stars or the level to use this here on real meat. That's only for the elites. You don't even have that level, that status. And see, and this stuff seems far off, right? It sounds like it can't happen, but it can. It is happening, actually. They're not fucking around. They are trying to have slaves, and all of us are slaves. And we ain't just talking about blacks. We're talking about everybody. This is going to be a class slavery, not a race thing, a class thing. And we just keep walking into the slaughter with no pushback. That's what I'm saying. We so it's either got to be a financial type of situation that we say, again, cancel Christmas. I said this before. I mean that shit. Cancel Christmas. That'll make them pay attention. Point being, we gotta hit them financially. Because if we're not gonna, what I'm saying, and for all these people be like, don't tread on me with all your goddamn guns and shit. All these people, the whole shit for the Second Amendment is to be able to take up arms against a tyrannical government. Message. I'm just saying, man. We have the numbers, we have the artillery, but we're not. Just saying, hypothetically, if something like that was to happen, we do not advocate violence on this podcast. No, we don't. But yeah, man, it's for real. It ain't for play. because again, once they start, because they're already using your wireless router as surveillance for you on you. Everything's connected. I was looking at a video. Matter of fact, I was listening to someone on the radio, and I was like, "Oh, you know what? I should look at them for this pod. I should do some research about them for the pod." That was it. Soon as I went to Instagram and I was looking for, their profile or whatever, they were the first video that popped up. Didn't even get a chance to push a button. Didn't even get a chance to do nothing. They're listening to everything we do. They are being able to predict our movements before we know we want to do them, or give us strong suggestions on the way they think we should move. Man, I am telling you, we need to start backing this shit back, backing it down. Again, start paying with cash, keep the analog system alive. Gotta start being less digital. Start unplugging from the matrix. Telling you, have to. And we just walk into this just because we are creatures, like, we like the path of least resistance, especially nowadays. We become creatures of convenience. So we've given away a lot of our rights just to make the line shorter, or, just to get a little perk here or there. Like, oh, well, if you do this and you give away this, you can get the seat that reclines. Or you can, it's small things, right? It seems like small things at the time, small concessions that we make at the time, but when you add them all up from everyone that's involved, it becomes it's a bigger concession from the world, right? So it's not just you individually, right? So once you get enough people signed up and signed in, you just flip the switch. Now you can't anymore, right? A lot of places you go around, they won't even accept your cash, right? Cash used to be preferred. Now places, they won't even accept your cash because they're moving into the state. Not to mention the fees and charges that they can add on to you to get more money. Y'all gotta be aware, man. I am listen to me now or believe me later on. Either way, it's happening. So we gotta do what we can do to back them down. Um, yeah. So just with this information gathering that they're doing, all the websites you're on, they're all gathering information on you. They're gathering information on you. They have it. And now you remember when they went in there and Doge was in there, and when Trump got elected, Doge went in, and it was supposed to be going into all these government agencies, right? Department of Treasury, Department of Education. They went into all the departments, right? And was looking for, trying to find government inefficiencies. That's what they were looking for. Air quotes. They're looking for government inefficiencies. Now, the people that work for Doge also work for Palantir, and we explained Palantir in the previous episode. Go back and listen. So they also work for Palantir, a right wing organization. Blah blah blah. So once those left, the people in Palantir stayed. Excuse me. Palantir stays. Now they're in all of these organizations, and they're basically just stealing all the data. They're taking all the data from like the Department of Education, your health records, your tax records, and putting it all in one searchable database. Because again, you are the product. And that's, let me say it again. You are the product. We we don't really realize how valuable we are individually, but as a collective and the wealth that we generate and that we move and transfer, we're the product. But if we can just like, hey, why are we over here trying to okay, so I'm a business. Why am I over here trying to predict their movements? They're sheep anyway. Why don't I just trap them? Why don't I just like why are we going through all this trying to predict the way they're going to move when we could just make them move the way we want them to move? And so they're going to lean into that. Be very careful. I'm telling you, you start paying with checks if you can. I know checks is kind of obsolete, but got to keep that system alive. Got to pay with cash. Keep cash on you. Pay your tips in cash. Pay like do what you can. Again, you can't you can't do everything with cash anymore. You just can't. Again, some companies, but even when they know you can't pay with cash, or even when you know you can't pay with cash, still ask them, "Can I pay with cash? Can I pay? Do you take cash?" Keep ask the people. Talk to, or you see a manager, "Hey, I got cash. Do you take cash?" Keep like, hey, this is a problem. And even sometimes, even better, when you go into the store, they ain't got what you need. Ask them, hey, I'll talk to the manager. Do you, I want to pay with cash. Oh, we don't accept cash. And just walk out right after you talk to them. Just walk out. Not that you already know they don't have what you need. So it's not like you're choosing to go somewhere. You already know they don't have what you need. So okay, fine. You can prove a point that they can then take to upper management, like, hey, man, we're losing business because people want to pay with cash. We're not accepting cash. We need to start accepting cash. And when cash is available, pay with cash. I know it's easier to pay with your card, but they look at those transactions. They say, hey, only 3% of people pay with their cash. Like, we can eliminate this. That's what I'm saying. If the numbers go up and it show people are still using cash, they'll be reluctant to move from it. So again, it's all financial. It's all about money. So again, we got to do what we have to do um to just reel back this digital dependency and this grid that we have found ourselves sucked into. And this internet age was the worst thing that could have ever happened to us. COVID, another one. Again, it moved us more and more. It detached us more and more from the real life, air quotes, real life. We are in this in between, you know, like we're in this never land right now of a digital transition. Don't even know, aren't even aware of it. And I know probably sound like some doomsdayer. I know I sound like some doomsdayer, but I am honestly not even. I'm just scratching the surface. I'm trying to not scare people out here, even though it's Halloween season. I am not trying to scare people out here, but it's getting spooky in these streets. So I want people to be aware. So you're not, and if we don't do something fast, like again, when they flip the switch and say you have to take this digital ID,
Please, she's burning up. She can barely stand. You have to get her seen now.
I understand your worry, but she's not registered for a brick card. Without it, we can't admit her under NHS care.
Your digital ID has been flagged for incitement.
Incitement? No, I was just talking!
Hands behind your back, sir.
Wait! Hey! I just spoke my mind! You can't arrest me!
Afternoon. Could I take out 400, please?
I'm sorry, your account's currently frozen.
Frozen? What do you mean? I've got more than enough in there.
It was flagged by a government order this morning. It relates to a recent post you made online about the Home Office and
Please,
immigration.
I need it.
Digital ID denied. Travel quota exceeded.
I haven't done anything!
Get down now!
There's gonna be nothing you can do. Almost nothing you can do, except the second option. The second option. But y'all ain't prepared for the second option. ICE is all in the streets, snatching up folks and whatever. I don't see no pushback. Except the Jamaican lady. I hit hard. You know what I mean? Except the Jamaican. Oh, she gave me life this week, I must say. Yeah. Let Trump see it. Let Trump see it. Yeah, she gave me life. But that's what I mean. And we all have our ways of resistance. We have to resist. And everybody has their part to play. But just how we all kind of leaned into this acceptance, we can all back from it. But I think people are too we're too attached to what the internet and this digital space can bring us, not realize that we're, selling the future of ourselves and everyone else that we love. Right now we're on a, it we're on a fiery death trap on a highway to hell. You know what I mean? It's like we are going quick to the other side. And I hate to bring this to like a biblical sense, but my grandmama, Mary Lou, hey, this is the mark of the beast. Something like that. They're gonna make where you have to accept the digital ID, right? You have to accept the mark to be able to do anything in this new area, in this new world. Mm-hmm. You got to accept the mark to be able to work, to be able to eat. Think of it in those terms. I'm telling you, man, the stuff is lining up. Even if you're not a believer, some of this stuff is sounding very familiar to the Bible and to my to my Sunday school. Some of this stuff is sounding real familiar. That mark of the beast, I remember that. That book of Revelations. Go back and read that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You take the mark of the beast, and you won't be able to eat. You won't be able to do anything. As a matter of fact, in China, they erased the bank accounts of people who refused the digital ID. Just took their shit. Because we demand compliance. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I get it, man. And and that's the thing. They distract you with all this other stuff that's going on. The news is crazy. They just you be like, what the fuck is happening? It's a distraction. It's all a distraction. Donald Trump don't give a fuck about this politics shit. He don't care about none of this. He just knows y'all care. And when I say y'all, yeah, y'all, both sides. Both sides. He knows that y'all care. Do this over here. I'm doing this over here. I'm telling you, just be careful, guys. And just be more aware. Just kind of look at everything and ask the question why. Especially when things are changing and they're moving more digital. Just look at it. It's so obvious at this point. Anyway, um, just I can't stress it enough. I feel I've belabored the point, so I'm gonna stop right here as far as this is concerned. We will continue to talk about this because I need people to understand how important this is. Yeah. I just want people to understand like this is all connected and like your freedoms will be attached to it. Because what's to stop them from saying, "Hey, you're an enemy of the state. I saw what you posted online. I saw you like this. I saw you do this. So we're going to restrict you here. We're going to penalize you here for speaking out against the state." Then it will demand compliance. It will demand compliance. Kind of like the Black Mirror episode I was talking about. It will demand compliance because it's just like, matter of fact, I might try to go ahead and put in a clip of that Black Mirror episode here. If I could do it, hopefully. Again, I'm a novice at this podcast and stuff, so hopefully I can get it done. But yeah, it'll demand compliance. It'll demand compliance from you. And you have no choice but to acquiesce to the new reality. Because you don't want further punishment or you're afraid of punishment. Like I said before, we are afraid to bleed. But it's going to come time to where we're going to have a choice. It's unfortunate that we missed it. We didn't see this. We were sleepwalking into this. But it's going to come to a point to where we really have to awaken and make some choices. All right, so we're going to. I'm going to stop because I feel like I could just keep going and keep going because I just feel like it's just so much. Like it's a lot, and but I feel like I'm gonna just spoon feed um people out here just so to make sure it gets digested. All right. Also, if you're out here in these streets tomorrow, and I just please be safe. Please be safe because the enemy is watching. The enemy is alert, and yeah, they got to fill these prisons. So be careful because they will arrest you and charge you with a crime for just doing your civic duty. So just be careful out here in these streets, and yeah, and just know you're on the right side of history. We are living history right now. Like usually when you look back in the textbooks and stuff, we are living history right now. And the way we move is going to decide the way history is written, is told. So we're going to have to stand in the gap. We have to, if we want, if we want this, one told correctly, and we want this to come out in the correct way. We're going to have to stand in the gap. We have to. So just be careful though out in those streets. No matter how you decide to, get your shit off and stand in the gap. Right? Just be careful. It's yeah, 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 yeah. Again, it's spooky in these streets. Um, I am, and since this is very heavy, I do normally end with a um a quote, which I still will. But I think I'm going to also put in like an inspirational or a inspirational like video um or something like that at the end of the pod as well. Just to kind of, as a chaser, as a palate cleanser a little bit, right? So it doesn't feel like everything is so desperate and, in despair, and we're all in despair and there's no hope. Because no matter what, we still need to grow in our personal space and our personal lives. So I do want to give something that's going to nourish the soul and it's going to also allow us to um, um, just get better, be better people, or to understand the way that people might be moving against you. Now, this clip I'm about to play here is from someone that I keep running across their work, I guess, on online. Sean Miles, I think his name is Myles, and he said something that was really telling. It's about basically how you can't. Um, Sometimes people won't be able to accept when you change, because you have been allowing them to get by for so long, or allowing, or has been accepting their mediocrity towards you for so long that when you demand your proper respect, or your proper what's due to you socially from them, that they have a problem with it, when this is what you should be expecting all along. I'll let you listen, and I will be back with the quote.
It is sometimes very difficult for someone to accept change from something that you accepted in the first place. It's very difficult for someone to change their thought process of someone that has consistently accepted something and then try to change up on them. It's a psychological thing. It's like if someone sells a product or a service for $20 and you give it to them for $5, that number is forever stuck in their mind. So the next time when you say, I can't do the 5, I can only do 20. You did it before, why can't you do it again? So even if they try to pay you $10 the next time, they're still going to think that they're overpaying you. So even if I do a little bit more, that should be acceptable, not knowing that they're still coming in under what you approve of. And they think that should be good. You should be satisfied. That's why you got to be careful when you minimize your worth with people. Because when you don't want to accept it anymore, they think that you're the problem. See, there's some people that know your worth. They know how they should be treating you. They know that you allow them to come in under what is acceptable. So when you demand a change, they should be willing. They should say, you know what? I've been getting over for too long. I appreciate you allowing that. But not everybody is built that way. There's some people that say, well, I can't unsee what you've allowed.
Yeah, that was deep. So, but yeah, you don't be afraid to demand what you're worth, even if you've been accepting less, right? And so know that when it's time for you to say, "Hey, I understand. I've been accepting this. You've been getting the discounted rate, but now it's time to the coupon is expired, and you got to pay your full fare." Don't be ashamed or abashed to say so, right? Know what you're worth and demand that person pay their fair share, because they know, as he was saying, they know they know what they got. Anyway, the quote of the day, the quote for the week, I should say: you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. All right, guys, till next time, be easy, be safe. I love you. See you next week. Peace.